Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Big Wavy Roy Johnson here.
This is the professional Nathan Cruz.
Yo, this is Man Like Doris.
Hi, this is Tom Thurber.
This is Veggie.
This is the Asian sensation Kanji.
This is the Nightmare Fuel Hustle Malone.
This is Joe Rage, the heavyweight classic.
This is Mad Dog O'Doherty.
This is Tonga.
I'm the Breaker, Carl Kingsley.
This is the infamous Cameron Solis, and you're listening to...
You're listening to
Broken but Glorious.
Broken but Glorious.
To Broken but Glorious podcast, because like me, you are head to toe a pro.
Hello and welcome to my Brit Wrestling journey on bbgwrestling.com. I'm Chris Lappin. I'm delighted to be joined by Act 2, Sweet Prince Bedouin Harland.
Hello, that's me. If this did get edited to audio, I'm waving.
And Jack Knudson, how you doing this evening?
Hello. All right. Well, we're very good. We're getting a band practice from unnamed band number 4 from 3 doors down.
The smooth
Yes.
that's going on. We're pretty good.
We're good. We're good. How are you?
I'm good. I got recognised the other day, first time ever.
Whoa, okay. How did you
You're
react?
Chris from that pod. I was like, yes, I am Chris from that podcast.
I'll take Chris from that podcast.
You're Chris from that podcast. Yes.
Maybe.
I'm wrestling training. One of the wrestlers recognised me. Also.
Oh, okay.
Matt TT, he works down south. He was Reach Academy, apparently.
Oh,
He's a really nice guy. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think I follow him.
It was really nice. Yeah, that's good. It looks good. Yeah, it was really good as a wrestler as well. He said he had a couple of matches. So
Oh, okay. So,
yeah, it was really nice. So, yeah, so how's your 2022 been so far?
Mental.
fast.
Yeah.
Fast is probably the best way to put it. We, in the best way possible, sort of haven't stopped,
No.
which is great. That's exactly what we want.
There was a little bit where we thought, it's getting a bit slow, and that was a weekend off. And
Yeah, we
then
had
the next 9 weekends were just non-stop.
Wow.
And the stuff we've got coming up is like non-stop. We've got a 5-day week next week or something.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
gonna be crazy.
Next week, as of recording, so whenever this goes out, we might be somewhere
Very tired.
other than Stoke in the country, but a 5-day not on a camps loop is mad.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's
So was that? Is that Wednesday to Sunday, or was that like?
Yes.
Yeah, Wednesday to
Yeah.
Sunday.
Wow. Because you've been all over the place, haven't you? You've been like all the way up into like Manchester, and I've seen you down south and in Bedfordshire, and just like.
Yeah, just any reason to get out of Stoke we'll take.
That is kind of the beauty of Stoke, though, because we're sort of like a hub. We're not close to anywhere, but we're not crazy far.
We're so
from
central that like
to get to anywhere isn't usually too much of a headache. Apart from
Wales.
now. Yeah, Wales.
Apart from Wales. I love Wales.
Where are you?
The travel is.
Where are you wrestling in Wales?
We're wrestling for No Mercy. As of time of recording this Saturday.
It's going out today. So.
Brett tag match. We are wrestling the Devil's Rejects, which is Wesker and MJ Grayson, and RC Chaos and Scott Christie.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
So we've got it's quite a menagerie of people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So but those tend to be the most fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of parts to play with.
Yeah.
In that match.
A lot of differences.
You got Wesker 2 days in a row.
Stinky Wesker. Hope he's listening. You stink.
Where are you at the moment? It's the barracks gym.
We are currently at the barracks. Yes, I don't know if you can see the thing behind us.
If this goes to just audio,
no, you can't.
Forget it.
But there's a banner behind us. Audio description. There's a banner behind us that says a barracks. Yeah, we're here at the minute.
in case you didn't believe us.
In case you were lying about where we were. Yes, we're currently at the barracks training facility.
Yeah, because last time I spoke to you, Ben, you said it didn't have. Well, when you started, they didn't have a ring. You just had mats and stuff. So
we just
yes,
decent rings.
Yes,
2 rings now.
I know, yeah. One isn't up, it's over there, but there are two. So 200% increase
when we started
in wrestling rings from when we started, yeah.
Although,
you trained in a ring before.
I trained in a boxing ring.
Yeah.
But, well, I say it was a boxing ring. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a very good wrestling ring, but because I was so small and frail, it just hurt. Yeah, Hope in Derby. No, I think it maybe was a boxing ring because the ropes were really loose. So yeah, the first.
Were there 4 of them?
No.
Okay.
The first ring I trained in, so at the time so stiff, it could have been me. It was probably me that was a problem, but I was also too short to hit the top rope. I was like a 14-year-old, tiny little lad, and yeah, so I'd click my head trying to hit the ropes. So I had to start hitting the middle, which couldn't do that either. So
Jack's been around like a year longer than me, so he's got the vet privilege.
That vet privilege.
Vet privilege. I trained in a boxing ring, you youngin.
Young bucks.
That's the bit I haven't quite got yet. The bump. I don't. I think get into my own head when I go to do it, and I think I just throw yourself and just do it, but I just kind of just land.
Back one.
Land them. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like it's a natural reflex to like protect yourself to fall, right?
So,
yeah. I understand why a lot of people find front ones really scary because.
Oh, absolutely! You can see it coming.
At least with a back,
yeah,
you can't see the ground coming immediately, but front. Yeah.
I thought you're just watching yourself fall flat on your face. I understand. That was what I had to overcome quite early in training. Like front bumps were my sort of like, oh, but.
That's it. I say I don't mind getting suplex, body slammed. I got snap made and bumped.
Okay.
Well, just saying go bump. I'm just like my body just won't let me do that.
Yeah.
Unassisted. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just on there. So Sean Ironley was just like, let me just do a snap mare, and I just did it. And I'm just like, yeah, but I don't. You're doing it to me. It's different.
Yeah, it's not saying right. Yeah.
As long as you've got the right person, like they'll make you bump. So it's not.
Yeah, 100%.
Shall we do a quick get to know you with Jack, as listeners should know Benjamin?
No.
Recognise Ben from the podcast. That's me. That's what people say when they come me, Ben from the podcast, right?
Chris's podcast.
From the interview we did a couple of weeks ago.
Podcast, I am actually.
So, who was your favourite wrestler growing up?
Oh, favourite wrestler growing up. Initially, I used to, like, my first sort of step into wrestling was seeing old World of Sport stuff. So it would have been Saint.
Oh, wow, yeah.
The first guy I saw, I was like, oh my God. And my granddad used to, which I'm figured out now, I'm pretty sure it's a lie. He used to lie that he walked out with Johnny Saint. I mean, maybe he did. But he used to say that he walked out with Johnny Saint, which to me was really cool because it was like, oh, my granddad's mate, Johnny Saint. Which is true. But so that was sort of initially that. And then as I got older than that, very much like Jeff Hardy and people like that, really. Like Rey Mysterio, a lot of the flyers were what I got into early.
Your story about your granddad walking out with Johnny Saint reminds me. Have you guys heard the story of The Miz? The Miz's dad gave him a WrestleMania 1 program that was signed by everybody in the program, and The Miz thought it was amazing. And then when he got older, he realised all the autographs were in the same handwriting, in the same pen, in the same pen, and his dad had just written on a WrestleMania 1 program. Imagine how much that'd be worth now.
Probably not written on by the Miz.
No, not written on by the Miz. Maybe it's worth more.
Yeah.
As being written on by WrestleMania legend the Miz's dad.
Yeah.
Because he did that. George.
Oh, George.
Right?
Oh, Mike's the Miz.
Yeah.
George.
Me and the Miz are like this.
It's like first name basis with the Miz.
Shoot name in the Miz, brother.
So it called to Hollock to call him George the Human Potato. Was that right? Is it? I can't remember. It's a bit like a crisp.
WrestleMania, like WrestleMania 35.
He came out and was like that.
He did this, and then
he fixed
his stance. Yeah, he fixed his stance and punched him.
I love that.
That was great.
That's probably the best match on that WrestleMania. Surprisingly, that Shane versus Miz was surprisingly good. Maybe it wasn't the best, but it was surprisingly.
Some big scaffolding.
Yeah, they did a suplex, a bunch of scaffolding.
Yeah, and Shane
pinned him because he got suplexed. Yeah, that's quite smart,
great.
Actually. Yeah.
It was a lot better than I thought. I wasn't looking forward to that match, but the whole Shane best in the world angle wasn't my favourite.
To do with the Miz and all that.
Anything to do with Shane McMahon.
Yeah, our perfect match. Really.
Love Shane McMahon.
Yeah, Isaac's got you just met. He's got a strange obsession with the Miz. I don't know when he was little, he's like, "That's me." And we're like, "Yeah." So I know. So all the figures are of the Miz. He was just come out as him. So it's like,
that was also admittedly when I was 10, I had like a little faux hawk and everything because of the Miz.
Yeah.
I did.
You've seen the pictures?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen the picture of you.
You've seen the picture of me and
the Brood?
The Brood. No, I was doing the Brood pose, but I was in a Miz shirt.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah. You're confusing my ridiculous photos.
With Mark, we're gonna have to send this.
Yeah, if this does go on like video, I'll send you this photo so you can put it up here. It's me, my little sister, and Mark Haskins. And I'd seen Gangrel in the program, and Gangrel was going in the program. So I'm doing that, but I'm wearing like a shirt, like a really bad real shirt of the Miz.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely tiny. I'm like 12 years old, and it's just the most ridiculous photo I have. He loves it. But I will send that to you, and if this does go, if not, you might have to edit this bit out because nobody's going to see the picture.
Just tweet it alongside.
I'll tweet it alongside. Okay, yeah, true. Yeah. All right. Okay, exclusive bad picture of me and Mark Haskins. I hope Mark Haskins doesn't see it.
People who just see the tweet will be
like, what is this mess?
Anyway, we're supposed to be getting you, not me and Mark Haskins. So.
Yeah. So what prompted
Jeff Hardy, right? Okay.
So what prompted you to don the tights to get in the ring yourself?
So I used to, I think, like pretty much everyone did, but I did like back garden wrestling.
What was your backyard name, Jack Knudson? What was it?
So I did a little stint as Death. And then I did an even more sort of celebrated stint.
What did Death? Who was Death? Wait, no. Who was Death dressed like?
Like Billy Kidman.
Like Billy Kidman?
What? With a really big blue parka. Because it was always cold, so my entrance had at least be warm.
If you need to dig up a picture of you as Death.
I thought as well. I was like, because he's a similar build to me. And like,
yes,
jacked, right?
Billy Kidman and 10-year-old Jack.
But I was like, I'll just be Billy Kidman. But but like even then, like I'm very keen on technical wrestling. And even then, I'd be like, we're having this backyard match. Lock up,
wrist lock reversal,
wrist lock. I've been doing like the Owen Hart head thing. In the garden. But so yeah, I had a celebrated stint as Death, and then Death O'Mac for a little bit.
Death O'Mac
because of Shane McMahon, which is where I got really crazy. Was doing like swantons on trampolines and stuff. But I think especially sort of the British scene wasn't what it was. So to see British wrestling wasn't as accessible as it is now. No. So I sort of just always wanted to wrestle, and I was like, I'll just magic myself over to America.
Yeah, right. That's
and be in the WWE.
So what you had to think
at that point. Not very good on a computer or anything like that. So you'd be wrestling school, and it'd be like OVW. And I'll just see if I can nip over to OVW then.
Hello, Al Snow. Do you mind?
Having 10-year-old Death O'Mac. Teaching me a bit.
So listen, I'm Shane McMahon and Billy Kidman as one wrestler.
And Death.
And Death, of course.
But yeah, so then I was, when I was a little bit older, I found Hope in Derby and went and trained there for a little bit, and then circumstances led so I couldn't train there anymore. And also, whilst training there, I just wasn't getting it. Again, it was probably because of how young I was, it just wasn't sort of clicking in my brain. I was like, I'm not very good at this. I can't do it. And then just by luck, some guy who I met at Hope Derby, I met just out, and he was like, oh, well, you're from Stoke, aren't you? My friend Birchall's just opened a school in Stoke, why don't you just go there? It's loads closer. And then trained at the barracks, and sort of
the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
The death is history.
The death is history. You got to bring back Death one day.
I'll do it. Halloween show, let me be Death O'Mac.
So I was just me.
So boring.
So I didn't.
Death O'Mac versus Seafly, which was just a guy dressed like Rey Mysterio.
I should have been Seafly.
Nah.
Can you get C-Fly back for a match?
C-Fly was sick.
Do you think he'd come back?
So our backyard setup was like 4 garden chairs, and my wire for my what was it called, mower. Around the 4 chairs.
This is just like really high production for a backyard fed. Like just wrestle on a trampoline like everyone else.
No. We were on grass. Death, mate.
Oh, of course, Death. Yeah.
Wasn't soft.
Death not playing a trampoline.
And our innovative spot was C-Fly would do a suicide dive, which I mean technically was over the top, but the top was
over the top of the mower wire.
Yeah, over the top of the mower wire. Throw me in, and then I come straight back over with like what I thought was a Finn Balor-esque big dive,
which I assume was just you.
More of a roly-poly with a jump.
Wire.
It wasn't a front flip. It was a roly-poly over a wire at C-Fly, who was smaller than me. But yeah, some innovative stuff in that backyard.
You know, GCW do like the July 4th backyard show in America.
Yeah.
We need to bring one of those to the UK. We need like everyone to revert back to their backyard gimmicks.
You wouldn't get booked though, because that's.
I guess so. Maybe I'd run the show.
Yeah, that's true. Death would be.
I was
main event Defo Mark.
My kid name was Chris the Diamond Lappin because I had swimming shorts with diamonds on. That's the only reason I was a diamond.
I mean, at least
Thor went into death.
How did Thor go into death? You were dressed like Flock Billy Kidman. What screams death about that to anyone?
I just had a crack in wrist lock. It was a wrist lock.
My favourite thing, Death was drop his scythe and put in a top wrist lock. Ridiculous.
It wasn't a top wrist
Did you have a scythe?
No, of course not.
Why were you're not Death then, are you?
I had a Parker and all the foam belts.
Oh, of course.
All of them. I was the tag team champions on my own.
Our belt was just a piece of cardboard with tinfoil around it and just written on it, "World Champion" or something. That was it.
Tinfoil on top. Also, do white metal. That's
really
it's
quite
innovative.
Yeah, innovative, exactly.
Innovative. I had an actual belt that had some cardboard at once that we did.
Like a trouser belt.
Like a trouser belt, and then it was like a Nike box that was cut up. And it wasn't the main title for a backyard company. But I thought it was very World of Sport because it was quite a thin belt that clipped behind you.
Fair enough.
Very technical was that. You wouldn't believe it.
I still remember all of the people we had with the Sick Clown, and we had Titch Rich because he was small.
Sick Clown? That's a
Sick
fantastic
Clown.
name.
What was?
Are you still in touch with Sick Clown?
What was the one that Charles?
No.
What was the one that Charles talked about? Oh, the Masked Bastard.
Yes,
it's not ours.
Yes,
but it's the best backyard gimmick I've ever heard
it
of.
was. Oh, the Masked Bastard. Yeah.
Oh,
He needs to come back too.
Amazing. Death versus the
Bastard. Yeah, somebody called the Boston Crab because his finish move was the Boston Crab.
Okay, I mean,
I'm sure somebody else called the Rockets because he liked Owen Hart, so just himself.
When you used to do like Boston Crabs and stuff in backyard, you used to put them on.
Oh, you used to like ruin their lives. You were like lion
lines
guys
so
in the
far
backyard,
back
right?
on
Yeah.
They're spined the wrong way.
You heard this stuff? I forgot who it was, but somebody went up to Jake the Snake Roberts, and he was like, "Oh, who trained your kid?" And he was like, "Oh, well, I kind of trained myself. I was a backyard wrestler." And Jake Roberts slapped this dude and went, "Don't ever admit that. Don't you ever admit that you were a backyard wrestler." Oh God, this has not gone the way that my individual questioning went.
No.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you
Really good.
But you've got to know
true.
Death.
You've got to know Death instead.
Doing Wrestle Island as Death.
Oh,
Just rocking up his Death. With my vest.
I'm surprised Pete doesn't do like a Halloween battle royal or something like. Who does it? UBW. Is it UBW? They do a superhero villain one every year.
Yeah, we've got some good plans for Halloween. We've got quite a few shows around then, so we're
Doing loads.
yeah, we've got a lot going on. It can't really be mentioned now, but there's plans for Halloween that get very ridiculous.
Very fun things.
So
Cool.
We're on that smoke for Halloween.
Yeah, Defo Mac needs to come back for Halloween Battle Royal somewhere. So.
I'll bring full Defo Mac out.
We need to do the alternate. Do you know what I wore? And I called them, they were just like black cargo trousers, right? But I called them Steve Blackman trousers. Because it was like the only person I'd ever seen wear them.
Wear cargos.
When I was 10.
You see all these like girls.
Yeah, all these people now, the cargos are fashionable because of Steve Blackman.
Oh gosh, got the
Right.
Steve Blackman trousers on.
So I'd wear like Steve Blackman trousers. That was my backyard gear. Just that. I wore shoes. I mean, what are you asking?
On a trampoline, shoes.
Oh no, I didn't wear shoes
That's
on a
what I'm
trampoline.
saying.
That's true.
No tape or anything.
No,
I wore
I couldn't afford tape. This
Why?
wasn't my trampoline I was wrestling on.
That's why I didn't wrestle on a trampoline. My white electrical tape is what made me really look like Billy Kidman.
Oh, incredible! Just cutting off the circulation to your wrists as a 10-year-old by tying your white electrical tape on really tight.
And I was having like 3-hour
matches. Yeah.
Open with dives.
This is like when you look at cars that happened in the 20s, and it's like, oh, Gene LaBelle went 2.5 hours. With Gene Knudson, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
With Defo Mac.
With Defo Mac, yeah. It's my favourite old-time match.
So when they semi-shoot as well, so they did actually know who was going to win.
Yeah.
That's where that's
why they went on so long. That's why you put them in a headlock for half an hour because
he got his manager to buy him some wrestling. This
is a completely redundant fact that if Jack NV listens to this, will probably be the only person who's interested. But at the start of like one of the old WWE intros, it was like, yes, we promise you a great main event, Andre the Giant, and all that stuff, and they play like all the clips. Right at the start of it was like a clip of a really old-timey wrestling match, right? Well, that was like refilmed in the 80s. That wasn't
guys outside.
Yeah, that wasn't
like
real footage. That wasn't real footage. That was just refilmed in the 80s for like a promo. Do you remember when they used to have Freddie Blassie start time? No beginning, no end. They used to have Freddie Blassie do that, right? So they filmed it for one of them. And then they just used it at the start of that and pretended it was old-timey footage.
Because of course, why would it be in colour?
Yeah, right?
No.
Never even thought. They stopped using that intro when you twigged it.
Yeah, they did. Like, oh, people are probably going to find out that this is just Billy Graham in a coat that we've put on.
Some kid in his Steve Blackman trousers is on to us.
Yeah, big time.
Change the intro.
I've lost track of my questions.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy
was his guy.
Yes. So during lockdown, I'm guessing it gave you a chance to rest your body and evaluate what went well and what hasn't gone well. So did you make any tweaks to your character or to your moveset on return? Or?
Oh yeah, massively. And I think as well it was training with the right people and sort of changing the way you look at wrestling and a lot of that sort of stuff. I've always been inclined with sort of the technical stuff, but never been able to really do it as much as I wanted to. And there was loads of reasons for it. It is a bit of a dying thing. But the people who do it well, everyone wants to see do it. But I sort of pigeonholed myself before lockdown as like, oh, I do flips, I do dives in my back garden. But like
wrestling.
Yeah, I just kept that Defo Mac style, and then I tried to put a lot more of the technical stuff in. And
did you find yourself where you were pigeonholed because of your size?
Yeah, definitely. But I think that's something that you can only do yourself. I think you look at guys who work the style that I want to work. It's nothing to really do with the size of them. It's more it's always how you do it and not what you do. I'm never gonna start being the big guy wrestler who does let's both hit the ropes and shoulder tackle and go I'm going nowhere, because why would I do that? If I'm wrestling someone my size, I could do it but why would I? But as a very I almost kicked the laptop as a very new to wrestling, I was like, oh well, I'm this size, and especially whilst I was even smaller than I am now, I'm this size, people want to see me do flips and that's it. And then
get thrown around.
And I still do flips and I get thrown around. But I do it sort of how I want to do it now. I don't wrestle a sort of, oh, this is a style that I should wrestle because X, Y, Z. I want to wrestle this style. I'm happy with the way I carry myself now. Not that I don't think I need to change things. You constantly need to evolve and change things. But I'm much happier in what I'm doing sort of post lockdown, because I did have that big time to be like, okay, what doesn't make me happy, what I'm doing? Yeah. And I realized I was always like, oh, I love doing technical wrestling, and I'd do it here for hours in training, and then I'd go out on a show and do nothing. And it's not something you're not gonna lock up and take a risk, and people are gonna go crazy and holy shit chance and all this. But I think if it's done well, you can tell a story through it that will mean something later. And there's just a lot more to it than even I think some wrestlers give it credit for. But then I'm not sort of set in my ways enough to be like, no, I just do this. Yeah. I will stay on the ground for 30 minutes
in one headlock.
In one headlock.
You got to find where you fit in, right? Yeah. Like Chris, we sort of talked about it when I was on. It was like, you got to do the wrestling that makes you happy, and it's going to show that it makes you happy, that you're doing the style of wrestling, that you enjoy. And while not that we don't enjoy the same style of wrestling, but we're more inclined to different
sides of wrestling,
ends of the scale, which maybe helps us being a team.
Yeah, definitely. I think you complement a lot of the things that I don't do.
And vice versa.
Yeah, which helps me in the sense of like, I would be more than happy to go out in black trunks for 30 minutes. But he wouldn't.
That's not my vibe.
He wouldn't enjoy my matches. Like if I went out for 30 minutes into a headlock. So it's also, you've got to not be very selfish in it of like, well, I am wrestling for me, and I got into this for me, and everything I do is sort of, because it is a massively selfish sport. You're sort of
big time.
Always thinking about yourself and that kind of stuff, and it's very easy to just zone in on yourself. But sort of bigger picture, you're not wrestling for you. You're wrestling for whoever pays for a ticket. So you should put forward.
Honk, that car really agreed with you there.
I think we froze. Have we?
We should be good. This happens sometimes.
Oh, but it carries on.
Yeah. We'll give it a second. There we go. I can hear you again.
We can hear
your
you.
Screen's frozen. Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you okay.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me, but you just can't see?
Oh, no, there we go. Okay, we're back. All right.
Yeah. You are in one.
That's strange.
One pixel. That's so good. But yeah, you've got to realise that you're working for the people who pay to see you. So what does that specific crowd want? And then how do you do that in your way?
In your way, you've got to find a happy medium.
You find what they want, what you can provide as well, because there's limits to everyone's game. I pride myself on being able to do quite a lot of different things and a bit of everything, but what is my strongest hand, and can I play it here? And if not, how can I change it so it works here?
It's finding your niche, isn't it? You got to find your niche. And to be fair, that's a really hard mindset to get into, because you see like what's popular at the time, and you're like, oh, I have to do that to be successful, right? Which isn't true. It's not true. You've got to do your wrestling in the right way, essentially. Not that there's a right way but you've got to do it in a way that's going to make you happy and entertain people. And wrestling's a variety show. Not all wrestling should be the same. Not all wrestling should be 30-minute black trunks headlocks, and not all wrestling should be 10-minute funny comedy style. You know what I mean? There's a reason that variety works.
The actors, tumblers, and clowns. Keith Myatt would put it.
Yes. Love Keith. Keith, if you're listening,
first time.
You might do. Does Keith know how to work a podcast? Keith Myatt, shout out if you or Ryan is listening.
Yeah, it's more likely.
It's probably Ryan.
We'll be nice about Ryan as well.
Okay.
Great beard.
Great beard on Ryan.
Great beard. Good arm drag.
Good beard.
Good arm drag. Ryan Myatt.
Speaking of comedies, the first time I saw you two was when you're part of a in the Rumble. Was it 2020 or 19? I can't remember which one it was. You came out with
Water Guns, right?
Yeah.
Water Guns, yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, that was
you got stripped down to your underpants.
Yeah, that was you choke slamming Rourke.
Rourke and David Grant. I choke slammed them both.
Yeah.
If you go back,
if you go back and flip the footage upside down,
I successfully choke slammed both of them.
And they took a perfect straight standing bump.
Yeah, which is if you're worried about your back bumps, wait till
you see the choke slam.
Wait till you get to the lesson where you learn those perfectly planted, where you stay perfectly still.
Yeah, so Isaac calls that rumble the underpants rumble because you get stripped down to your underpants in it. Right?
I do.
Was it you or the other guy from AWOL? Can't remember which one it was.
Oh no, yeah. Well, no, that would have been you because you put a singlet on. But this made loads of sense, and it was very smart wrestling, right? Because pulling down the straps of a singlet makes you
rub your own ego more.
It's
Go
the
on,
smartest. Pulling down the straps of a singlet makes you infinitely stronger.
Infinitely stronger, of course. Yes, in wrestling law.
I couldn't choke slam them initially. Put the singlet on, took the straps off, and still couldn't choke slam them.
That's why I'm worried about like a Big Guns Joe. Now doesn't have singlet straps, so how does he know when to be more strong?
Well, he can't be. He can't get that amount of strong without straps.
I don't know. Mind you, he looks great, so I don't think.
If I was built,
if I was like Big Guns Joe, I would also not be wearing a singlet. But you know,
he's jacked.
He's fantastic.
Big Guns.
I love Big Guns Joe.
Yeah,
I tweeted him during lockdown saying you can't get big because the whole point of your gimmick is that you think you're big. We can't sing tiny
and now he looks amazing.
Yeah, and now he looks
Big Guns Joe looks incredible. Like
we can't sing tiny Joe at him anymore.
Nobody does measure up to you.
Yeah,
Joe.
Maybe that's why it's gone from his theme song now.
True.
It's true in fact that nobody measures up to Big Guns Joe, and he
doesn't even need to say it anymore.
Yeah, there you go.
So let's talk about the team for a bit of history of how you met. And so let's get like Jack's side of the story. It's like, I know that you didn't really.
I did mention that you hated me when we first met.
I didn't hate him at all, but I would definitely O'Mac.
Death O'Mac was not a fan.
Who had a hell of a stock. He just showed up and he thought he was mint.
How dare you? Oh, that is such a lie.
I hope this goes out on video.
Oh my god.
I hope this goes out on video.
That is the biggest lie.
I thought he was mint.
That is so not true.
So I still like him. I still don't really like him.
I can't believe how much you're lying.
No, we just didn't get on. And then we had a match in training.
Why didn't we get on? No, I want the full story.
It was.
You were asked why we met.
Why we met, he came straight. No, we just didn't get on. Is all it means.
I got told that I stood out 6 weeks into training.
And did he think he was the best thing
right?
Ever?
No, this isn't true. I was like, oh, thank you. Which fueled this burning hatred under Death O'Mac so much that he did not speak to me for months.
No, I think I was just a little bit. I'd been training for like a year, and he showed up, and he was just getting dead over. And this was at the time where, like, when I started training,
getting dead over.
When I started training, I was like, no fun, serious as possible. You've got to show up and do it. And like, I'm still really serious about wrestling, but you can have a laugh and you can have mates.
Yeah, definitely.
You can sort of.
You need to enjoy yourself.
Yeah,
otherwise you'll be drained.
But my first year, I was like, no, you've got to commit everything to this foundation.
Your failed run at Hope Derby made you bitter.
Yeah, it did. I failed run at Hope Derby. I came to the barracks. I was like, no smiling, just shoulder rolls. And then
talk about the dude being sick and you.
Carrying
on. Right?
Yeah. So again, this is an example.
I wasn't here for this, so I've only ever heard this story secondhand.
I'm so serious. And probably like little teacher's pet wanted because I really want to wrestle. So it comes from.
It comes from a good place. It's just funny.
Yeah. So I hope he doesn't listen to this. There was a lad who turned up to training, and I've been training maybe just under a year at this point. And he showed up to training and he had a Kevin Owens shirt on. He was just like a really nice lad. And to start, we did, so we had a big matted area. It was probably like 20 foot matted, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit bigger. And we did Brookside shuffles, like side steps with your hands behind your head. And we're doing them just around this matted area. And we were going for a good bit. I think it was like a drill where you get in and you roll in the middle and then get back out and keep going. Just something like that. And this lad was doing it. He just went boom. And his cheeks filled with like the perfect amount of sick to just fill your mouth, not break the seal. And he like tried to run to the bathroom, was sick, came back, just sat down, and we all carried on the drill. 'Cause he'd only been sick in the toilet, so that's fine. And then he was sat there, he was like swaying in this chair, and his mouth fills again, super quick, and his eyes like widen, and then he knows he isn't making it this time. So, and he just drops it and catches. It's like a well in his Kevin Owens shirt. And good on WWE.shop, by the way. Not porous at all. Held it, and then he was sick again. And then I think the volume had sort of capsized.
You said at one point it was like covering his mouth with his hands, and it was just like spewing out of in between his fingers. Hope no one's eating.
And it was like firing this like real thin sick. I'm sure he I'm sure he showed up with like a bottle of Coke or something, like a big bottle, and we were like, "This is."
Don't do that. Don't do that, bro.
Vomiting. It was everywhere, and everyone else doing the drill, and everyone else just sort of teeters out.
Stop. Reasonably.
And looks at the lad in a puddle of his own sick holding his Kevin Owens shirt. And because I was such a wrestling, I carried on doing these Brookside shuffles. And then when I got to his puddle of sick, just did a bit of a big one around the sick until the coach was just like, yeah, stop
doing that.
We're stopping the drill. But yeah, I was dead bad for like, I'm too serious. Whereas now I think most people who meet me at shows are like, he could do with being a bit more serious.
Yeah, that's true.
Would probably help.
To cap off the story, by the way, we got given a training match, and we genuinely hadn't really spoke much up to this point. It's like, guys, go plan this training match, right? And then we just sort of clicked from that. Although I did recently find a little clip from said training match, and it was very bad. So maybe we clicked for the wrong reasons. But
at the time, we're amazing.
At the time, we were like, I can't believe this has gone so well. And we just sort of, it just kind of went from there, right?
I think it was how easy it was as well.
Yeah.
Like what we actually did of being like, we just click as mates.
Which if you've ever seen us pre-show, now you would not believe. Because so many people shout at each other all the time.
Yeah, about the most micro little things. And people are like, they hate each other. We love each other to pieces. But people are like, no, they must hate each other.
They must hate each other for how much they shout at each other and get on each other's nerves. And it's like, no.
It goes to say how much of like best mates we are, though.
Yeah,
that we shout at each other so much and then remain friends.
That's true. But we were initially a trio.
Yep.
As a team. Then we went for about a year, right? AWOL was a thing for about a year. Yeah. No, it actually might have been an exact year, because I remember that it was like 15th of March 2019 was the first time. See, I'm good with dates here.
Yeah, I'm awful with dates.
15th of March 2019 was our first like match outside of like our training school. And then the 15th of March 2020 was both of our last matches before lockdown. Yeah, and like the entire run of AWOL lasted exactly 1 calendar year.
Yeah, because AWOL stopped.
Because AWOL stopped at lockdown. Right. There was points there was like discussions and stuff, and
it really died when we were like, when are we all coming back? We're all excited to get back.
Yeah, we're all excited to come back, and he wasn't feeling it, and that's cool. That happens, you know what I mean? There's no hard feelings or anything like that. Sometimes people fall out of love, and that's okay. So we're sort of like, all right, okay, we're going to have to reassess and figure out what we want to do. And now we're stuck with each other.
So we've got
you think that was kind of a blessing or
fallout?
Is it kind of a blessing or a curse that the tag team scene in Brit West kind of blown up since the lockdown?
I said this to Ben the other day. I was like, I think so. AWOL was finishing, And I was like, we should be a tag team. There's like,
we both.
there's a real good window for that. And we're both really into it. Both love tag team wrestling, that sort of stuff. And I think literally everyone else who was good.
You know what we should do, guys?
So two guys who had like barely just left their training school, and we were like, we should be a tag team. That'll be really good. But then all of the top of British wrestling
were like,
was like,
hey, let's revitalize tag team wrestling and make it really good. And we're like,
So it's great that like when we sort of had the idea, tag team wrestling wasn't on fire, and now it is. I think the best. If you were to look at a division in British wrestling, tag team wrestling is the best
100%
division in British wrestling right now.
Absolutely.
It's crazy good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like you can make a case for cruiserweights as well.
Yeah.
In the same vein, a lot of those cruiserweights are tag team guys.
Yeah,
like close personal friends.
All
four of them, they all team with each other, right?
And there's no
amazing.
Of that.
Yeah, and there's
amazing.
4 of the best cruiserweights in the world, let alone the country.
Yeah.
So, Joe Lando not in the country anymore.
Yeah.
As well. Hi, Joe.
Joe Lando.
Love you as well.
He's one of the best cruiserweights.
It's just people named Joe, right?
Yeah.
It must be. Must be all these Joes. Anyway.
Joe Cardinal. What a great.
Joe Cardinal is
Cardinal's
also great.
as well.
That's true. You know, we made a card last time. I'm going to have to make a card of just Joes.
Just Joes.
Just Joes on these shows. A show of Joes.
That'd be fun.
So, I don't know if we get 7 matches out of that, though. Do you think?
You'd have to do the Oda.
I'd have single, 6-man tag,
yeah,
right?
Single. All the baddies come out at the end of the main event and turn it into a 6-man tag. You're not doing that to us right here in Coventry.
The Mega Slam booking.
The sort of cycle back to the point. But because everybody who was really good decided to start running as tag teams, we've got to wrestle loads of really good tag teams. So there's the blessing part of it, and that's made us a lot better.
Yeah.
Sort of as teams, because at first and during AWOL, we didn't wrestle like a team. We wrestled like 3 singles guys, right?
And for the start of Act 2.
For the start of Act 2, it was the same way, because we didn't get that yet. We didn't understand.
And I think as well, we sort of didn't want to understand it. We were like, no, this is what I've worked on. I've thought about all these little intricacies. And it's quite personal of like, so everything I've done now, I'm splitting.
Yeah, we're splitting
50-50. So you've got all the hard work you put in, you can trust yourself with it because it's you, but now you're trusting someone else with it. So like, you look at all the sort of tag teams who are doing crazy stuff, those guys or girls in that team are so close because they're trusting the other person with their career. Because if you're that sort of known as a tag team,
you got to be right.
It's very hard afterwards to sort of just split off. And I think we've kept a individuality.
We've kept
is that a word?
Nice. Yeah, we've kept our individuality.
You did it way cleaner. We've kept that. But whilst trying to work like a sort of cohesive unit as a team.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it's just being carbon copies of each other.
Like you mentioned earlier, training with the right people and
100%.
Being able to work with the people we've got to work with has been so beneficial in that way, where like we've kind of been we've been able to learn a lot of tag team wrestling sort of on the job.
Yeah.
Because we'd get in and we'd be wrestling like these real tight, cohesive teams who've been tagging for years. And we're just sort of like, like all these things that these guys are doing is sort of what we need to be doing, right? And we still get that now. We were at Pro Wrestling Chaos and, Smoking Aces?
Yes.
Smoking
Aces
just
the best.
So good.
They are just the best. And
so good at wrestling.
We watched them so good at being a tag team. So we're watching them and we're like, this is like, it's blowing our mind over and over again.
And we're not too proud. There's like a weird stigma of you can't be a fan of your friends.
Oh,
you can't
yeah,
be a fan in general.
That's so ridiculous.
And all these guys that like stand at the back of rooms and go, wrestling's amazing.
Wrestling's incredible.
We're both stood there watching Mouse Wide Open. This is, and then when it's tag team wrestling to that level, you can't not be gobsmacked. But there's so many people who'd sit there and sort of, I'm too tough to like wrestling.
More than happy to admit that seeing people, especially people we know at that level and doing that well, is going to inspire us to do better.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I feel like some of that stigma's gone now, which is a very good thing.
Definitely.
Like, we're not at the point where Jake the Snake slapping people for being backyarders. It's like, you know, we've definitely evolved a little bit beyond that. It is there in some places, you know.
Yeah.
I don't
Some
think
people are just
things like that don't ever go away.
Too cool to be wrestling fans.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, because if you wrestle,
You're not
a wrestling fan.
Yeah, if
And
you
you're not
wrestle,
too
you're a
cool
wrestling
for it.
fan. So. Well, you might be getting a concert now. It's got a bit louder.
She's going for it.
She's going for it.
What's the song?
She's I run as fast as I can in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of my... I don't know what the song's called,
Avril Lavigne? No. No, it's Pink. Just like a pill.
It does. I feel like it is Avril
Lavigne.
Right?
Should I try
It
and
does
Shazam
sound
it?
Avril Lavigne.
Shazam's not going to
No, Shazam's not going to pick that up.
Sounds a bit like Pink. Just like a pill.
I hope it's picked up for you though, because we sound mental if not.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely. We just sound like we're hearing Avril
just
Lavigne
three
songs.
guys.
Oh, it might be Jagged Little Pill actually.
I don't know.
No, it might be.
Not my grabs.
Okay.
Yeah. The song you were singing was Just Like a Pill by Pink.
It was Pink. Oh, so it's not Jagged Little Pill. Oh, this does sound like Pink now you've mentioned it actually. No, this is Pink.
Do you remember
This is Pink,
the lady who
100%.
went on X Factor? It was a Pink tribute.
Oh yeah.
And her dad did Tom Jones and her mum
No,
did-
but that story's really because she
Really
didn't
sad
want to
because
sing.
they lied to her.
Yeah, they were like she didn't want to sing Pink.
Screw X Factor.
So then they made her sing Pink, and then they shouted at her for singing
Pink.
Like what?
Screw X
What is she
Factor.
supposed to
Zoe,
do? Zoe something. Yeah, she did an interview about
Big
it.
up Zoe.
She did an interview about it. Right? Yeah. Sorry, we've gone so off track. Why are you a tag team? Zoe from X Factor.
I vaguely remember that. So I used to watch the auditions of X Factor and then not bother watching the live show because I didn't see the point.
Huge X Factor.
Yeah, get on the compilations on YouTube.
Huge X Factor guy, especially all the auditionees
Top
coming
10.
back to sing a song at the end. Because when they're all together, they sound really good. I implore you to seek out when they sing Bad Romance. Right? I forgot what year it was, but they come out and they're singing that. Obviously, they're bad. That's the point. But like they're singing, and then they all start singing Bad Romance, and they actually harmonise really well, and it sounds really good. And then that lady comes down, sat on a bunch of lips, and Simon Cowell goes mad.
Yeah,
I forgot her name, but she comes down and she's like on lips, and then she goes bad whoa and misses her line. It's like you've got one pot. You're the big introduction. You're the Undertaker of this piece.
You're the death.
Right. You're coming down from the rafters. This is like if Sting came down from the rafters and just went straight through the ring rather than because she was like bad whoa and then missed it. Unbelievable. Whatever your name is, you're not as good as Zoe from X Factor.
Should have been Zoe.
Should have been Zoe.
Should have been.
But then they would have had them sing Pink, and that's not fair on Zoe.
Yeah, that's true. If they all would have sung Pink. I don't really like Pink.
Whoa, Pink's great.
I'm not a fan of Pink's music. Pink,
Unbelievable.
Ali Goldin.
Yeah, you don't like Ali
Who was
Goldin,
the
do you?
photo at the
photo?
venue for Progress?
Oh gosh, yeah, who was that?
Paloma Faith?
Paloma Faith.
No.
Not a fan of her.
You not like Paloma Faith? Ooh.
Do you like Paloma Faith?
I don't know if I've heard enough Paloma Faith to like have an opinion.
I've heard one Paloma Faith song and that was plenty Paloma Faith. There's more than enough Paloma
You'll never
Faith.
catch us using Paloma Faith. That doesn't sound
It does
real
sound like
now.
a word.
I've said it so much that Paloma doesn't sound like a real word. But you will never catch us using Paloma Faith as the theme song now.
It's true.
I think she's one of them artists you'll know loads of her songs, but you just don't know it's by Paloma.
Yeah, I know. Anastasia, however, incredible.
I think anybody
Incredible.
wants.
And Anastasia. I love
I have
Anastasia.
two Anastasias.
I'm going to a concert in November, an Anastasia concert in November, and it's my first ever concert. I'm very
First ever concert.
My first ever concert is Anastasia.
Been a while. Been a while.
It's like a seated venue. It's me and loads of middle-aged women. Absolutely
Knocking out a flare at
But
Anastasia.
no, I will be. I will be. I'll be there festivaled up. For Anastasia.
Borrow my gear.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Book it
I
out those wristbands with the bead on them. Yeah, big time. Wellies. At Victoria Hall in Hanley.
You look sound.
Yeah, I saw the Killers at Leeds Festival, thinking I knew about 2 songs by them, and I knew every song in the set because I just didn't know they were Killer songs. I knew every song.
Well, I'd probably know them if I heard them.
Yeah.
But, other than Mr. Brightside.
I thought I knew Mr. Brightside and the.
You look at the man.
I'm not sold.
Song,
I'm not sold. I'm not soldier. That one. I thought I knew them too.
Sounds like that, but yeah.
It does. It does. Put me in the X Factor auditionees scramble that they have on the final.
You have a scramble.
We're putting our match card together full of people named Joe and X Factor.
Very, very harsh woman slides in.
Yeah, I want Onka Judge, who was that bloke who sang Earth Song and dropped to his knees really hard. I want him versus Big Guns Joe in the main event.
Onka Judge wouldn't wear knee pads if he wrestled, which makes him tough.
X Factor trainees. It's X Factor auditionees versus people named Joe from wrestling.
Yeah. My money's on the X Factor.
That makes the 6-man tag at the end really easy. Yeah, it's just people named Joe versus X Factor people who aren't named Joe because it's too confusing.
But who's the baddies and who's the goodies? X Factor people are the goodies, right?
100%. You gotta get Wagner. Wagner was a wrestler. Wagner won the title.
Yeah, heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah, Wagner won someone's heavyweight title.
I remember that somewhere down south.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Give me 15 with Wagner.
Does he count? Because he got onto the main show, didn't he? So does he count as a auditionee?
Oh no, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
he got onto the main. Yeah,
He did Live in La Vida Loca.
Yeah,
And
he did do Live in La Vida Loca. That's right. Do you remember Ridian from X Factor?
He might have been slightly. He's the one that looked like he's from Norway, but he wasn't actually.
Yeah. He had like really straight, spiked up blonde hair and a really chiseled face.
Nah, you've lost me.
Right, and he sang opera, but then they were like, "You should stop singing opera." So he didn't sing opera and got eliminated.
You googling Ridian? I can't even be bothered to Google Ridian.
Oh, I see. Okay, let's get back on track. Sorry, this is going to be so long. This fucking.
All right, so this Sunday, 21st of August, Wrestle Island, Friends Don't Lie at the St. Anne's Parish Centre in Birkenhead. So before we get into the card, how did you get involved in Wrestle Island? First time I saw you live was at the Rumble, the last show.
Yes, indeed. That was the first time we've been to Wrestle Island.
Yeah, all together.
Yeah, it was always somewhere like every wrestler has a list, right? Even if you don't tweet that you've got a list, you've got a list. I know you have.
You've got a mental list.
You've got a mental list, or you've got a Cody Rhodes written on a notepad list, right? Well, Wrestle Island was always somewhere we'd wanted to get to. A menagerie of things mean that sometimes you just can't make certain places at certain times.
We've been talking about wanting to at least just go down since coming back from lockdown.
Yeah, 100%.
They've run how many shows, but so many different factors just led to us not being able to.
And it kind of, right place, right time.
Yeah.
We get there, we enter a Rumble together. I believe the only people to do that twice ever. So yes, there's a singular Rumble entrance, which is very cheating, but I hope no one catches on to that.
Yeah, it is very cheating.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't help us.
No, it didn't, because we very lost as well.
So
our cheating didn't really get us
So did
anywhere.
loads of other people.
To be fair, everyone else in that match except for RPD
They lost. Yeah, exactly.
So we're the same as all of you, is what I'm.
Apart from the massive unfair advantage we have.
We have.
Twice the chance of winning.
That's not true. I bet all of Violent Gentlemen Society helped each other.
Yeah, that's true. Because they were all in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they had quad the chance.
Exactly.
And none of them won.
And none of them won either. So have that, Tommy Jackson.
Just him.
Just Tommy Jackson. Have that.
Not even in our match.
No.
We'll get him.
He's not. He'll be in our match eventually.
Yeah, it's true. One day.
I'm sure he'll be at ringside for the match.
I don't know if I hope so.
I
feel like he's going to swill me with his flask.
Can you swill someone with a flask?
I don't know. I don't know. Fans tears flask, right?
Yeah, but he's not going to swill you with that. Also, I don't think there's that many fans who cried.
I don't know.
I'm gonna kick him really hard if he's there. As hard as I physically can. I'm not even joking. As hard as I come out to ringside, and I'm gonna kick him as hard as I can.
Yeah, that whole show is now available on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description if anyone wants to go.
It is indeed, yes.
I've watched it twice already because I watched it by myself and then Isaac made me watch it again.
You could see me target Scott Oberman for no particular reason. Yeah.
He cheated as well because he waited for his partner to come out, and then they both went in.
Despicable.
See? Yeah.
Despicable.
How did that go for him? He lost. There you go.
It's good rumble there. It's a lot of fun. You can't go wrong with a rumble, I don't think. So, yeah. But
wait till you're in one.
Wait till you're in one.
Wait till you're in one.
Half an hour whilst Let's Get Ready to Rumble plays.
Oh my
god!
times. Yeah.
Rumble can go wrong.
Is that a carnival show? It sounds like.
You ever come to sleep and a song wakes you up when it's. Let's get ready. Oh god. It's like when you fall over in a dream and it jolts you up.
Right, so you are part of the Tag Team Title Eliminator. Wrestle have finally introducing Tag Team titles after, I'll say, years of teasing them. But
as soon as we got there, I'm not saying we're the reason.
As soon as a proper tag team showed up,
they're like, wow, these guys must be a real tag team because they go into rumbles together. We need tag team titles.
Everyone thought they were going to introduce trios titles because they had lots of 6-man tags since coming back. So they were like, oh, to be a bit different. But yeah, I'm happy they're introducing.
And that would be in favour of Tommy Jackson. Yeah. No one wants.
Then we'd have to get Wagner out of retirement.
Yeah, it'd have to be Actu and Wagner versus Violent Gentleman Society. I'm just saying. I'm just spitballing.
I'd prefer
you never know who's listening to this.
I'd prefer the other guy who did his knees. What was his name?
Onka Judge.
Wagner's out.
Wagner's got wrestling experience.
Yeah, but Onka Judge got tough knees, which is all you need to be a wrestler.
You know what? Actually, you've got me there. You've got me with the tough knees argument.
So if they bring out trios titles,
Actu and Onka Judge are coming.
As long as there's tag titles.
It's just us. Sorry.
Right, so you're in a match. So the winner of this match will get a crack at for the first ever titles. So is it the West Midland Breakers? It's not the East Midland Breakers. It's
the East Mid Breakers.
Is we Midland? Yeah. So Cal Kingsley and David Grant.
We were so terrible at geography that we don't really know where the East Midlands is.
Yeah, they could be from Litzy anyway.
Yeah. We're like, that's so vague.
And people are surprised about how poor our geography is. We're saying how much.
Yeah, for how much we just randomly appear at different places, we kind of fall there.
Like we're so bad at geography. We were having a conversation with someone the other day, and they thought we were joking. They're like,
"Yeah, no, that is true." Yeah,
and we were like, "We're not joking. We could not point to London on a map."
No way. Like, I don't know what's up or down. Like,
figure it out though.
Somehow we've. Doesn't very much, does it? We'll come and wrestle for your show. How are we going to get there? God knows. But we'll find a way.
We're always there.
And
we might not know where we are, but we're there.
Also in the match, you got the Violent Gentleman Society's Casey Payne and Christy Quinlan. And then Actu and Wesker and Lucia Lee. But I think Lucia Lee is going to go into the women's title match and MJ Grayson might take his place. That's my theory for this, because
I don't know, MJ Grayson's really old.
I know, yeah.
So old.
I don't really want MJ Grayson kicking him. Not really.
Him kicking Tommy though.
Him kicking Tommy Jackson, however, is what we do want. So if we can organise that, then sweet.
Yeah, because they announced today that Holly Hudson's having an open challenge, and we've been wrecking our mind about who's could it be, because Lucy Sky's broke her arm, and
I have an idea.
Alexis Falcon's got to be away. And
I have an idea. Shall we place a bet? Shall we quids in?
Another bet?
Shall we quids in? We've got 2 quids in now.
Come on.
Stacey Rose.
Oh, good, solid bet. That's an actual bet, so we're in that together.
Are we? Yeah. Okay, right. So we owe Chris £2.
But you think
if I was going to bet, I'd say it's going to be Mel Price because she was at training a couple of weeks ago.
It's not with Lucia.
Yeah, well, hang on a second. What happened to Lucia being in the match?
Well, that's
He's just trying to scare us with everything.
Yeah, that's true. You just want MJ Grayson to batter us.
Angle that cat.
Well, from
Scary.
I mean, that's based on the storylines of the last couple of shows. It'll make sense for Lucia to be in the match.
Right. We'll give you that.
Oh, then that's yeah. My whole point of him being in the match was
I think
MJ Grayson being in the match because he was at training the other week as well. So
Lucia Lee is just as interested as the rest of BDK in kicking our heads in. So
yeah, I don't know. I think
they seem to enjoy doing
Wesker
that.
is especially. He's
Interested
got something about kicking my head in.
And kicking our heads in.
Yeah.
Even though we have previously bonded over sleeveless flannel shirts.
Yeah, but you have.
Well, I have. Yeah, that's
I've
true.
never wore a
so
sleeveless
maybe
flannel.
I'll just roll away and you've got to deal with it.
Yeah, he's not big.
Yeah.
In real life, he isn't actually that big. Like he looks big on all his pictures, but he's a 5'5". He's a short man, a real short man. You'll see him, and
He's actually got 1.5 foot lift in his boots.
yeah, real short guy. If you see him without his boots on, tiny little man, little baby.
If he's only wearing one boot, he'd fall over.
That's true. The drop from his boot.
You know who else is short? Tommy Jackson.
So short.
Small man.
Even shorter after I kick him.
Yeah, very short after we kick him in the shins at Wrestle Island.
David Grant's not a short man though. He's enormous.
He's not. No, short man.
No, he isn't. David Grant loves to pretend he's taller than me, but I'm not a short man.
Yeah, not a short man.
Not a short man.
But because you're only tall by way of legs.
Yeah,
we look
that's
like
true.
the same height.
That is,
We have the same size torso.
Yeah.
But his legs.
My legs are just
so
really
long.
long. I've got the Stacey Keebler legs.
You have.
I'd like to
all that leg.
compare myself to somebody. It would be Stacey Keebler.
Yeah, I always compare you to Stacey Keebler.
Oh, thank you.
So is it do you know how the match is going to work? Is it an elimination match or is it a first pin?
To our knowledge, it's an elimination match.
I'll have to speak to management.
We will have to speak to Island management.
It's a lot easier if it isn't.
If Pete isn't too busy beating up Tommy Jackson.
Yeah,
actually.
Tommy Jackson, true.
But to our knowledge, it is an elimination four-way. There's no strange 80s wheel on this match like there is on the 8-man scramble.
They've just announced that. Yeah, links to tickets will be in the description below the podcast. So it's this Sunday, Wrestle Island, Friends Don't Lie, St Anne's Parish Centre in Birkenhead. I think it starts at 2. I think show starts at 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am just. These are only predictions. We cannot promise that we're going to come out and kick Tommy Kyle.
I kicked Tommy Kyle.
No, Tommy Kyle isn't there. Tommy Kyle's wrestling elsewhere.
That is true.
I just kick him.
I'd love to see Tommy Kyle at Wrestle Island.
Yeah, these are just predictions.
Tommy Kyle at Wrestle Island would be incredible, by the way.
Tommy Kyle everywhere.
Tommy
Kyle's
Kyle
great.
everywhere should. Yeah, that's true.
More Tommy Kyle.
More Tommy Kyle.
Kyle.
Someone else you love bullying.
Yeah, I bully him, but
It's
God,
Tommy Kyle.
Isn't he good at professional
He is
wrestling?
very good. That's true.
Hell of a professional wrestler. Great trousers in the winter as well. It's getting warm, so he wears shorts everywhere. But
Tommy
you wait till
Kyle
the winter,
trousers.
and Tommy Kyle's
top
in his good
notch.
trousers.
That's
That's
true.
peak Tommy Kyle.
That's true.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how to finish this.
Yeah,
It's Red Hot Chili Peppers now.
Ooh.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, it's left with you to try and do a wrap up of this we spoke for an hour and a half.
All right, so apart from Wrestle Island, what else can people see in the near future?
Ooh. Should you be of the residency of Wales?
Yeah.
We are in Caerphilly this Saturday, the 20th for No Mercy Wrestling. Then, of course, we're in Birkenhead for Wrestle Island. You may not see us in the ring, but you can come and say hello at TNT on Wednesday and Thursday of next week. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
They've got the big
Crazy.
tournament, Big Guns
The tournament looks amazing. So.
Chain match.
Yes. Nico Angelo, the Project X, He won the Project X, right? So there's lots going on there. Friday, you can catch us at Phoenix Events in Sheffield. Even though the company is called Phoenix Events Yorkshire, it's in Sheffield.
It's in Sheffield.
Don't question that.
For
Don't worry
more
about
tag
it.
team stuff.
Yes, more tag team stuffs. And then Saturday next week, you can find us at Battle Brawl.
Yeah.
For Future Wrestling, which might not be tag team stuffs because it's all random.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Hopefully we get randomized together and we beat everyone up, but I don't know the likelihood of
defend on new tag team.
How random that would be.
Isn't that where you go into random tag teams and then there's a big all the winners go into a battle?
So yeah, the entire show is randomized. There are 3 singles matches.
Yes, I remember this.
A tag team match, a 6-man tag, and a fatal 4-way, and then the winners and losers sort of determined your entry into the battle royal later on in the show. It's a very unique concept. There's lots of like things taken from different match styles, all sort of mishmashed into one. And
it's a very fun show, especially like if you're not sort of that way and you can only sort of get down to the odd show. That's the one that's the one. That's where you want to be. It is just crazy. You want to be Battle Brawl. You want to be at Halloween House Party as well. Not that we're going to drop any spoilers, but if you can make House Party October 23rd for Future Wrestling, you should. If you can, you should. You absolutely should. And then Sunday, after our big week of being everywhere, you can come and say hello. We'll be at Progress Wrestling in Camden. Yep. Then September, we're at Pro Wrestling for You. Yep. Two shows. We are at a very, very sneaky, cannot say one of the shows we're at, but we'll be popping up somewhere. Ooh, where could it be? Yes, that's 2 shows in one day. That is in Silverdale, which is near Stoke. It's one of the closest to home that we do. Yeah, it's one of the closest shows. Great fun. Yep. Really great fun. They do have tag titles. We are wrestling for the tag team titles. We would like more silver titles. Yeah. All the silver titles.
Synergy, they're champions.
Yes.
Yes.
The super athletes.
Super athletes, yes.
Yes.
Which the last time we wrestled, we just kicked their bums.
We did kick their bums, and it almost worked. So maybe that
bum kicking.
We won't reveal strategy, but maybe that'll work.
But maybe slightly more bum kicking, and we have another set.
And we have more silver titles, right?
3 sets of silver belts.
Yeah, absolutely. You can catch us at Sacrifice Pro Wrestling as well.
With our silver belts.
With our silver belts, yes. And yeah, it's busy times, right? So it's good. We're very lucky to be this busy. It's cool.
I believe we went nearly 2 hours and we didn't mention your tag team titles once. So it's like,
we crammed this at the end.
We're far too busy with all the X Factor stuff.
Yeah, that
was what we needed to get in.
Yeah, that's
definitely.
What other wrestling podcasts are you going to listen to that have an X Factor interlude?
Yeah, everyone talks about their belts. Boring. Apart from Brian Anderson. Don't have any. You might do.
You know who should have belts?
Who?
Big Guns Joe.
Big Guns Joe. Get your belts on Big Guns Joe.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you want to promote any social media you have before we leave?
Yes, absolutely, because there's a new one.
There is.
There's a new one since we spoke. So you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SweetPrinceBH.
I'm Jack Knudson 01 on all social medias.
All social medias. We don't use Facebook very often.
No, it's really not. I wouldn't bother following.
Yeah, no. Twitter and Instagram is probably the place to be.
Yeah.
He's got a LinkedIn.
I have got.
If you want to Jack Knudson on LinkedIn.
It's not my name on LinkedIn.
it's not your name on LinkedIn.
And don't follow me on it.
Yeah, don't follow him. If you find a Jack Knudson on LinkedIn, please don't follow them. They won't know why.
This is the opposite of promotion.
Yes, it is.
We're like, there's followers here. Don't follow
there's an Act 2 Twitter account now.
Hey.
It's Act_2_ because whoever took Act_2, I don't like you.
I hate you so much.
So it's 2 underscores. You got to remember that. Yeah. And yes, that's sort of a new budding social media that we have.
Yeah, that we need more followers
on. We need more followers on. So if you're going to follow us on anything, can you follow us on that, please?
Yeah.
And not LinkedIn.
I'll put links in the description.
Yeah, Owen Charles.
Owen Charles, follow him on LinkedIn.
Also not his name on LinkedIn.
No. Well,
Oh,
Random blokes who have 9 to 5.
These poor Jack Knudson and Aaron Charles on LinkedIn are gonna the flurry of like.
Is that a bit of sweet child of mine I can hear now?
How many people have LinkedIn?
Oh, loads.
Is it like a big thing? I've never had a LinkedIn.
big
I'm not
on
gonna
social.
lie.
I had one years ago. I've probably
Yeah,
still got one.
WWE and Lloyd's.
We're gonna have to follow Chris from the podcast on LinkedIn.
Are you on LinkedIn?
I'm sure I have a profile on there, but I've not. It's
You
not
know,
been
we have to
updated
drop
years.
like. You
I'll add
know,
you
we have to
tomorrow.
drop like the picture of me with Mark Haskins doing the Brood thing, and he has to do the picture of him as death. You have to drop your
Drop your
LinkedIn
LinkedIn.
on the podcast.
We don't have 1,000 followers. on your LinkedIn by the end of the week. We'll pull the podcast down.
I'm more scared that I'm going to get called up for copyright, so I can hear a sweet child of mine in the background.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
That is true.
Is it?
The other ones were it's clear, weren't
Is
they?
it
Like we had to
fair?
tell you what they're saying.
Is it fair use though? Because it's a cover.
I know.
Yeah, it's a cover, I guess, right? It's true.
Yeah, I put links to all your social media.
If we
below,
find the
so
socials
you-
for this band that are
Someone book
we'll,
this band.
we'll,
They're
we'll
great.
drop you their socials. They've got quite the range, as you've probably heard. So,
Light jazz to Bon Jovi.
Light Jazz, Pink, Guns N' Roses, Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're all over the place.
I've really enjoyed speaking today. I'd love to have a again in the future.
I'm really
I'll-
sorry. This has been wildly chaotic.
Probably the
Which
most
means you'll either really enjoy listening to it and want to hear more chaotic podcasts, or hate it and turn it off within the first 5 minutes. Like you're not going to find a middle ground where people are like, "Oh, that was fine."
If you don't like X Factor and you are a big fan of Brian Anderson,
As Brian
you will hate
Anderson,
this.
you'll not be happy. If you're Tommy Jackson listening to this, you're going to be really upset.
So I should call this, if you don't like X Factor, I know there's a
Yeah.
big fan of Brian Anderson, don't bother.
If you're Big Guns Joe listening to this,
You're welcome.
then you should be happy. Because I know, Big Guns Joe, I know you listened to my last one.
Ooh.
So, hi. Yeah. I love you.